Dec, it was June last year when we had our very first interview. You joined the New Saints. At that stage, you'd played most of your football north of the English border. You had, of course, had a brief excursion into the English Football League with Fleetwood. But looking back over your 12 months in the game in Wales, how's it gone overall?
Well, it's obviously been a very successful season for the squad and the club as a whole. And obviously me personally, I've enjoyed a good bit of success, and it's went obviously surpassed everything that I could imagined how my first season would go, in terms of the goals I've scored and how well we've done. 2 trophies and yeah, it's just, as I said, it's surpassed everything I could imagined.
And Welsh football in general, did it surprise you in many ways? Was it more physical than you expected, or perhaps less so?
Pretty similar to the kind of championship and stuff in Scotland. It's physical and it's competitive. Every game's tough in terms of that way. Slight differences, obviously. Us here, we are seen as the kind of the big fish, the one that everybody wants to take points off. So there's that little added week to week basis. Every team's desperate to beat you, and obviously we tend to have a lot of the ball and stuff like that. So, but I've enjoyed it. I've loved every minute of it, and obviously grabbing so many goals and individual accolades at the end of the season and stuff. As I said, it's just surpassed everything I could have imagined.
Well, you've mentioned goals there, and naturally that will come up in our conversation. You scored your first competitive goal for TNS here at Park Hall. It was against Glentoran, very delicately poised from the first leg, 1-1. We were awarded a penalty. You picked it up. You calmly slotted home. It was good to get off the mark.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that was only my second game, so I think the boys had spoken before the first Glentoran game, and there wasn't really a penalty taker of sorts. That there was a few boys that were willing to step up, but nobody had kind of claimed the penalty takers right. So when we got it, I'd said, I think it was Sis at the time, had said that he took the last one or whatever he'd said, and I was like, can I take it? And he was just, no problem. So you'll never get a better chance to grab your first goal than from the spot, so I was confident that I could go and stick it away, and thankfully I did.
And we did have a good European campaign. In fact, it's the best that TNS has ever had on the European stage. 1-4, drew 1, lost 1. Was the lure of playing in Europe part of what brought you to TNS in the first place?
Yeah, I think it's obviously, for the club, it's a major selling point. For getting new players from other countries and whatever else to come here and sign, it is a huge part of it. But I also seen the chance to come in a new country, and first and foremost for me and my family to enjoy a different lifestyle, and but also the chance to come here and win trophies in a different country was a big lure for me. Domestically, I wanted to win trophies, although Europe, as I said, is a big lure, and it's an amazing experience. I loved every minute of the 6 games we played, and as you said, we done so well, and take it to lose the way we did in penalties, and against a club that's established in European football. So I think we outdone everybody's expectations, and I think me personally, individually, I wanted to go and try and put my mark down, but did I think I would score 6 goals in 6 games? No, but yeah, like everything else, it just surpassed everything I could have imagined.
Well, naturally, I wanted to ask you about the 6 goals that you scored on the European stage. I remember interviewing you at the Cardiff City Stadium following the game against Victoria Pilsen. You just scored a hat-trick. At that stage, you were the leading goal scorer in that particular competition. Looking back over the whole of your career now, Where does that hat-trick fit in with all the other things that have been landmarks and benchmarks along the way?
I think it's probably up there with one of the best, if not best, nights of my career. The fact that we were into the game, and I think even staff here would have said that any sort of result would have been an amazing achievement, but to go there and score 4 goals, beat a team that's 2 years previous to that was in the Champions League group stage, it's obviously, that night just as a whole was amazing, and amazing for the team, but obviously for me it was surreal. It was a night I'll never forget.
And sadly, as they say, all good things must come to an end, and we did exit the Europa Conference League. We're playing in the Czech Republic. A few days later, we were at Newtown.
Yeah.
More importantly for you on a personal level, you got off the mark there as well. You found the net. How important was it to not have a European hangover and get the goals back underway for you and the side?
Yeah, I think for the boys, at how much effort we put into those 2 games. Obviously in Czech Republic we went to extra time, we went all the way to penalties, and we put a hell of a lot into the tie, and fell just short in penalties, and to kind of the short space of recovery we had, and to go to Newtown that day and put in the performance first and foremost that we did. But obviously getting the win was a major like really good start for us in the league. It was a marker that we felt we had to put down getting into the league campaign, and as you say, for me it's always there's a difference between that. I know you scoring goals in Europe is amazing, but domestically you want to get off the mark in every competition that you play in, so thankfully I managed to do that.
And prior to the move to Park Hall, you'd been playing Scottish football at a good level. Your move obviously was well publicised. There was a fee involved, a record fee for the New Saints and Welsh football. Did that put any pressure on you at the time?
I think there is a little bit of pressure that comes with it. But personally, I took it as a huge compliment. The club showed real hunger to come and get me and pay a fee that I never thought would have happened. When I heard about it and I knew there was going to be a fee involved, I didn't expect the club to go and do that. So for me it was a huge compliment and a bit of a boost to see that a club wanted me that much and believed in me that much to go and pay a fee, and yeah, a confidence booster more than pressure for me, to be honest, and I wanted to repay that.
And you scored that goal at Newtown on the opening day of the league campaign. You continued to score, and eventually you picked up the golden boot.
Yeah, it was obviously an amazing achievement for me personally. I wanted to come here, I wanted to score goals. Every striker wants to score goals, but to score as many as I did, and obviously physically get that golden boot. I've been top goal scorer before in a couple of leagues, but never got that physical golden boot. So it was lovely to get the trophy, and the kids are proudly parading it about the house. So it was lovely.
And if you kicked off the domestic campaign with a goal, you also signed off as well, because we beat Penabont 3-2, again at Cardiff City Stadium that we've just mentioned, and you also found the back of the net there as well.
Yeah. It was a tough game, although I thought the boys played brilliant in the first half and most of the second. It obviously went 3-0 up and we're cruising, and we knew the way Penabont had been all season, they gave us tough games. We knew they would come into it at some point, and they managed to get two goals, and it made it a little bit nervy, but I think all in all we were comfortable and that we were deserved winners, and it was obviously lovely to grab a goal and end the season on an even higher note.
Every goal is a statistic, of course, but on a personal level, which one over the course of the previous campaign did you personally enjoy scoring the most, and why?
I think probably the third in Europe would be the biggest thing. Obviously to score that goal and the manner that I scored it and the way the tie was going, it was brilliant. That was, kind of, as I said earlier, a surreal moment for me to see that hit the back of the net.
And finally, Dec, as we look back, you not only got the Golden Boot, which of course you knew you would as the goals were going in, but you also got the league's Player of the Season award. Did that come as a surprise?
Yeah, a big Owen Tudor Jones came to the house and said he was doing an interview, and when he came, I knew the Golden Boot was coming, which I was obviously buzzing about, but he surprised me with the Player of the Season, and I was obviously delighted to pick it up. It was a surprise, and I knew I was up against the likes of Brobs and the boy Donahue, so it wasn't something I was overly expecting, but obviously lovely to receive it, and it just topped off an incredible year.
Dec, it's been great to catch up. Congratulations on the past season. We'll have a few more conversations upcoming, of course. Yeah. You're training this afternoon. Looking forward to getting back on the pitch for the European Games that will be on the immediate horizon.